Hello everyone, hope you're all keeping well, and if you're in the UK I hope you're not melting from the heat because it is still very hot. Today I have a bit of a mixed craft video. I'm basically filming things that I've done this week, so later in the video I'm going to update you on some paintings that I've done, which obviously is pre-filmed already because I did them a couple of days ago. But I thought I'd also update you on my commonplace journal because I've been working on that the last few days, and I've also got some paper crafts to show you as well. But yeah, I thought I'd give a little flick through of what I've been working on in the last few days, and it's just my own personal doodles really, and just moments that have made me happy. So for example, this is just from a late night walk we did. I was looking at the light, how like a street light, how it shines through the leaves, and I just did a little sketch of that. And I just was remembering an old story that a teacher taught us when I was about 7 years old, which is worth looking up. It's called The Last Leaf, and it's a very inspiring story about looking out for other people. So that's definitely worth a read if you're interested. And one of my most recent pages, which I've been enjoying, I'll put the real photograph on screen because obviously this is just a doodle. It was just a quick thing that I did. This is a real place that we went to. This is me and my partner. And we basically went to see a glacier in Switzerland last June, I think it was. And it was such a beautiful place. But the reason I thought of it is because I was listening to a song and the lyrics were, I stood next to a mountain, stood there and screamed, let it all go, I'm finally free. And it made me think of this moment when we were at the glacier, because we were so awestruck and we had no words to describe it at all. We were just standing there staring out at this glacier, and it was one of the most amazing things that we've ever seen, and we couldn't compare it to anything. We were like, it just doesn't have any descriptive words to say how magnificent it is. You know, you can't compare it to anything like a forest or a tree or a landscape. It was just so big and powerful and beautiful. Going to do another page today, and I thought I would time lapse it, and I'm going to read, I'll show you. This is the big journal which has a dinner plate mark on it. I wrote a kind of stream of consciousness thing yesterday, and I wanted to read that, but I'll read it over the top of the time lapse of doing another page in here. What does a cherry plum say? I took a bite out of a ripe cherry plum and tasted joy. Summer was absolutely my least favourite time of year, but the one thing I looked forward to was foraging for plums. I had a favourite place along the river where I went, a spot where they grew in abundance and you could walk for hours in solitude, nibbling nature's gifts as the day passed by. There were multiple plum varieties along this route, but no one ever seemed to pick them. I think most people only trust things which come out of a shop or a piece of packaging, and it is a mighty shame they forget to realise this is our history, our heritage. Before we were cities, we were tribes. Before we were in offices, we were communities. We knew the land, we knew the stars, the seas, the moon, and we knew what and when to harvest. Maybe we knew our purpose more, or maybe we did not question it as much. Perhaps we were at one with the world and did not see ourselves as separate beings. Nowadays, people refer to nature as if it is some other, forgetting we are made of the same stuff as plants, trees, foxes and birds. When was the last time people said a prayer of thanks for their food? Have shops and convenience made us forget our plates were once living creatures? And yes, I mean that about our vegetables too. We should say thanks really. We have life in front of us giving us life, and most of us are too closed off to see. We disconnect to connect. We step away from grass, from flowers, from miracles to look at a screen, and where does that get people? We treat the world as a novelty, taking photographs of something special without looking first or not at all. It is a strange place, this world, and our ancestors would be yelling at us to feel. Is that what is missing? Feeling. Do we feel? Are we so in our bubbles, our boxes, our screens that we forget to feel? We look to entertainment to give us something, but we don't go to find it for ourselves. When was the last time you stood in solitude just to feel the breeze? When was the last time you stopped to admire birds singing? There are 1,000 flowers, leaves and creatures each day passing us by. When was the last time you took a deep breath and saw the world? Not this world, that world. The real world. The one without the chase, the money, the buzz. The one with the actual buzz of life. Beings, living beings. Our entire world is made up of living beings, not just us. And that is what the cherry plum says when it is picked from the tree. That is what the tree says when you wander past it. That is what the world says every moment of every day. But are you ready to start feeling? It's so funny. I've tried to record a little voiceover maybe 10 times, and every time I press record, a loud motorbike goes past, a plane goes over, a car drives up the road. So now I have an audio of me complaining. But I think just everybody seems to get food deliveries or something, because there just seems to be an abnormal amount of motorbikes. But anyway, what I was going to say is I was doing another watercolour painting. I have a little watercolour set, and I was going to say I was enjoying doing the painting and it was quite fun. I think I'm leaning towards the picture goes this way up because of the direction of the fish. The only reason I was recording this clip is I just wanted to point out, look how pretty the tissue looks. I know it's just paint, but I always find things like that. I always quite enjoy that, as like that's come as a result of doing that kind of thing, you know, like I enjoy the painter's palette, not just the painting. So it's a couple of days later and I've decided to do another painting, and so here's another time lapse for you. This time it's a little fish, and I actually really enjoyed doing this one because of all of the vibrant colours. I kind of picked to go with a red and a purple and a pink colour scheme, and it came out nice and vibrant. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The only thing that I have no idea how to do, well, I don't really know anything about painting at all. I'm kind of learning blending the colours, but I have no idea how to do things like shadow and depth and highlights and things like that to make it look more 3D. So I kind of struggled with that. But it was really fun to do, and they're just easy, relaxing things, you know. But I was running out of paint, and I'm trying to preserve as much paint as possible because I have got one painting left to do, which you'll see in a second. But I'm happy with this one. This has been quite a fun kit to do. There's 6 in the packet, and I'm happy with how all of these came out. I like my new fish. The only one I don't like is the jellyfish. I was messing around trying to do like water. I've got no idea how to paint. I literally have no experience. And I was kind of trying to do murky water kind of thing, and it just didn't work out. I don't like how this one came out. I think it would have looked better if I'd have left the background white like all of the others. But also the brush is too big to do the like tentacle bits of the jellyfish. But I'm happy with all of these. I particularly like the seahorse, I think just because it was the first one that I did, and I like all of the colours. But I've got one more to do, and it's a fish. But the trouble is I'm running out of white. Well, I've kind of run out of white already. And some of the other colours are near the end, so I'm hoping I've got just enough left to do this. But this looks like one of those fighter fish, and I think they're normally kind of bright blue or bright red, aren't they? But I'll have a look at the referencing, how they've done it. They've kind of done it, these are definitely AI generated, I think. They've kind of done it as a blend of blue and red pinky colour. But yeah, that will probably be in a future video, and it will be the last one. I just wanted to add in a little clip of something that I had a go at making, and they're basically called Victorian twist boxes. And I came across this lady's tutorial. It's the first time I've ever seen them, but I thought I'd have a go because they didn't look too complicated, and they were fine to do. Kind of similar to doing origami, but basically they are 3D pop-up cards, and I'll show you, I'll give you an example. Mine are not the most aesthetic because I didn't have double-sided paper. Like if you have a look at her tutorial, which I'll link it in the description and in the comments, she was using double-sided paper, so it looks a lot more pretty and aesthetic. But basically you twist them like this, and it has a little picture on the inside or a little message or whatever you want to put on there. And it's basically a box, and it's a 3D card, and obviously you can use it for whatever, like birthdays or anything. I only had Christmas papers because in the past we've made Christmas cards, so that's all I happen to have. But they were pretty straightforward, and her video was really easy to follow. This was the first one that I did, and then this one was my second attempt. And as you can see, you just twist it like that, and then you can see the little picture in the middle. But I thought it's kind of like a shadow box kind of thing, and it would be kind of nice to put a photograph in there of someone maybe, or like anything like that, like a personal thing. But yeah, I just think it would look better. Obviously mine are not, as I said, the best examples because it's white on the outside. But obviously if you had both sides decorated, I think they make quite cute gifts. And she was talking about how if you give it to someone, they have to kind of work out how to open it, and you know, most people wouldn't know to go like that, so it's kind of like a very novel idea, and it's like a unique gift for someone, or like a unique card for someone. Okay, I'm going to end this video with a fun little brain teaser. I was doing one of those like anagram things just on the words cherry plums, because obviously I'd written about cherry plums. But what I did was set the timer for like 3 minutes and see how many words you can get, 3 letters or more, and not using repeat letters. And I'll put some answers after this, so if you wanted to do this little brain teaser thing, just pause it now, and then in a few seconds I'll show some of the answers, but obviously there's probably 150 words you can get. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.